Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to your class today on the Servant Leader. My name is Glenn Daniels, and I will be hanging out with you today for a very short workshop. I want to make sure, though, that we get everything covered we're supposed to cover. We have a lot of information to get to today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's quickly cover what we're going to be looking at today. The webinar, The Servant Leader, we're going to first off look at what the servant leader is. We're going to give some information about that so you can get a good feel for it. We're going to talk about your roles, the responsibilities you have in leadership if you're going to be that servant leader. If you want to create a dream team, you got to pay attention to what your responsibilities are. We're going to be leading by example. Talk about what you have to do to lead that by example. You're the servant leader. Servant leaders allow their team to stand on their shoulders. In order for that to happen, you have to set examples for them. And we're also going to take a look at some people who have some experience already in this area and let them share their thoughts with you. Okay? We're going to quickly talk about communication and flexibility. Okay, that's the key. We've worked on that in all of our workshops up to date. Communication and flexibility. Then we're going to take a quick inventory of where you are right now. This is going to be a critical part of what we have to do today is discover where you are right now. But let's go ahead and jump into this idea now of servant leader, the info, what's it all about. Okay, so for starters, a servant leader uses their power. Hear that, please. They use their power to benefit the people they lead. Use their power. What's that saying? Well, that is saying your power, your force of will, the power of your knowledge, the power of your position, the power of your dedication and desire to be the best, to benefit the other people within your group. People will benefit because you're going to lead with your power. Now, one side note that I decided that might be worthwhile to put in here. When we're talking about your power and the benefit that you bring to the table, we tend to sometimes go very negative on ourselves. Talk to 100 people, one person has something bad to say to us that rides everything. You must remember that people never remember the millions of things that you did good for them. They don't remember that, right? They only remember the one or two times you did something wrong. You could do a million things correct, but the one time you do something wrong, that's what people remember. That's you. You could do a million things correctly, but the one time you do something wrong, the one time you get a piece of criticism, you allow that to run everything instead of taking a full, complete inventory. The other thing we're going to talk about here, real quick, leaders are made, they're not born. Okay, leaders are made, they're not born. What that's saying is that the skills that you were born with have to be developed. See, I believe the skills and techniques are already there. We've talked about this before. They're already inside of you. You just need to float them to the top. We need to label them and float them to the top so that you can go ahead and be the leader that you're designed to be. Now, just once again, just a quick reminder that what's in being covered today is in your content library. Okay, here's this book, The Servant Leader, Unleashing the Power of Your People. This book is there for you. It's a Cliff Notes version of it. Please, please take advantage of it and read through this. I think it's 5 pages long. It'll take you all of 3 to 4 minutes to read through it. So please take a moment and read through that. The other area is the foundation of your leadership is built upon your integrity. The foundation of your leadership is built upon your integrity. That's just simply telling you that when you operate from a place of integrity, you inspire trust. When you operate from a place of integrity, it inspires, it creates trust. Do you operate from that place of integrity? Okay. You need to get in the habit of trusting your manager. If you want them to trust you, you got to trust them. Okay. You have to be loyal to them. I don't care what it is. If it's a policy or procedure that maybe you deep down disagree with, you're going to trust that the management, upper management, the senior level Met knows what's best. They have a strategic view of things, and you're going to be loyal, and you're going to deliver that to the people who you work with in a 100% positive, powerful way. Okay. Leaders are accessible, they're decisive, and effective. confident. They have a game plan in place, they're confident, and make it happen. They are good managers. Servant leaders are good managers who can think both tactically and strategically. They think both tactically and strategically. What does that mean to you? That means you think about what you have to do to get the job done today and this week, but you strategically see the future. You have a vision for what it should shape out to be, and even though you're doing the necessary steps to complete the task today, you have that eye and that mind toward what it's going to look like at the end because that's where you're pointing to, strategically and tactically. Servant leaders, they are able to facilitate organizational change. Change is sometimes, well, not sometimes, it's oftentimes your enemy. People do not like change. You do not like change. You got to be aware of that and pay attention to that. Change can be a problem. And the best way for you to take care of that change is remember good communication. Communicate this to your team in a way that they hear it, they understand it, and they see the vision of why that's in place. They have understand why that it doesn't really matter if they like it or not, but they feel and they see that vision, and therefore, because they're pulling for you as a servant leader, they follow that vision. Here's another area of importance, I believe. Train the next generation. Train the next generation of leaders by delegating responsibilities. You must start delegating your responsibilities to people on your team to get them ready. Okay? Sometimes that requires, well, for example, some of you have teachers and they're in the classroom. You need to train them. You need to delegate some responsibilities to them, even if that means you go sit in the classroom while they go take care of that responsibility. You must train the next generation. I want to put this out to you. I think it goes a little bit deeper than this, though. I think it goes a little bit deeper. As you're training this younger generation, 21, 22, 23, 24, 30-year-old people, as you're training this generation to become leaders, you must train them to the best of your ability because what happens is they go home and they train their children to be leaders. You be the best leader, you train them to be the best leader, they'll train their children to be the best leader. That next generation is not the ones working for you, it's their kids. And this becomes part of the servant leader's credo. I'm training my folks. I'm developing my team. I'm following my number one job to develop people on my team. Servant leaders empower subordinates to make decisions. They empower their subordinates to make decisions. I'm going to give these folks a chance to make the decisions, talk about it. We want this team to become a consensus decision making team. We want them all to decide how they can get the projects done. With that said, though, you're going to set the expectations. Okay? You set the expectations. You say, I want to park this plane at the gate. And you have them lead to that by letting them make the decision on how to get there. You evaluate their performance. You evaluate their performance. You say, okay, here's where you are, here's where you are. Here's where we are, here's where we are. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Evaluating their performance equals accountability. You must be accountable to your team. You must evaluate their performance on an ongoing daily basis. When you listen to other folks, when a servant leader listens to others, they listen to serve them. They listen to serve them. Once you start doing that, they will follow you. It becomes an issue of if I'm listening to serve you, if I'm not listening to get my agenda across, but I'm listening to serve you, your team will trust you, and soon they will follow you. Okay? They will trust you, and soon they will follow you. One point here finding the balance. Okay? Whether you're trying to win a contract, win over the hearts of students, win over the hearts of parents, coaching a football game, fighting a war, the basics of leaderships are all the same. You set the goal and you persuade other people to follow you. You set the goal and you persuade other people to follow you. It's all there is to it. You're going to set that goal and you're going to persuade other people to follow you because that is your power. That's what a servant leader is all about. As a servant leader, you articulate and exemplify your organization's mission, inspiring and invigorating your subordinates. Inspiring and invigorating your subordinates. Please remember this: as a servant leader, you are the catalyst to achievement. In order for you to have that vision, you have to start to understand and make sure you have a clean, clear grasp on what the vision, the mission of the company is. So you have in your notebooks, you have this homework assignment. This homework assignment is due the Monday after the Thanksgiving holiday. This one is due the Monday after Thanksgiving holiday. Okay? Please write down what is the mission of MET. What's MET's mission? You should have that one. That's the easiest one on the list. Get that written down, turn that back in. Number two, what is your team's mission? The people who you report to or your peers, what is their mission? Clear, short, concise, and sweet, and to the point. Number three, I haven't talked about this before, but it's critical to you having a balanced approach. Write down what is your personal mission. What is your personal mission? I want you to connect with that personal mission, and I want you to write that down for us. Well, for you more than me, but write that down. And then what is your professional mission? Okay. All of these should be short, sweet, concise, to the point, and very clear. What is your personal mission and what is your professional mission? The servant leader also understands leadership as reciprocal. When you respond to others, not when, but how you respond to others influences how they in turn respond to your leadership skills. Okay? How you respond to others teaches them how to respond to you. Okay? Please don't forget the 70-30 rule. Strive for the 70-30 rule. 70% of the time, you should be out there working with your team. With only 30% of the time, you should be held up in your office. 70% of the time, you should be giving positive feedback, with only 30% of the time being negative feedback. That 70-30 rule permeates through your entire leadership skills, your entire leadership set. Let's talk about the responsibilities you now have as a servant leader. These responsibilities, they include defining the organization mission and devising a plan to implement it. Okay, defining that organization's mission and defining a plan and devising a plan to implement it. Staying on top of day-to-day issues, pushing for greater efficiency. Staying on top of day-to-day issues so you can push for greater efficiency. You know what that means? Being accountable. Okay, that's what that means. It means you being accountable. Developing management processes that includes workers at every level and that build their relationship skills, their leadership skills. See? You need to develop management processes that include workers at every level that build their leadership skills. You must make a difference. Okay? You must make a difference. Okay? You must make a difference in how quickly they do the job and how well they do the job. You must create those processes. You have to get in the habit of making timely decisions. What is that timely decisions? How do you make those timely decisions? By having confidence. Forgive that. But by having confidence, you can make timely decisions. You can have a process and make those decisions. And then establishing goals. You have to have goals for your team, for yourself, your vision, your purpose. You have to have goals. Now, you know me. You know what I'm about ready to say here, because you know I've written 2 books on goal setting, and you know I believe that's number 1. Okay. You know I believe that it's very important that you set goals, that you have a clear, concise picture of how you want this all to come out at the end. You must get in the habit of setting performance standards. Okay, get in the habit of setting performance standards. You must ask for the best from your people, but you must also refrain from micromanaging your people. And you must lead through the chain of command. In other words, you cannot set high performance standards that are not part of the HR issue. that are outside of HR rules or outside of the person you report to rules. You must stay within the confines of the rules of the chain of command. You don't get to be that powerful until you become the Stacy. Okay? When you become the CEO, then you might be able to change those. But I bet she would tell you herself that it's really, really difficult to change because there's so many other people that she has to serve. You do not get to change those, so just remember that. And you must really avoid, at all costs, micromanaging people, unless they fall in that category where this is required. Okay? Then always ask for the best from your people. The last one in this list is acting as an ambassador to Met. Okay? You're the ambassador. Inside work, outside of work. This is your area where people are paying attention to you. Your actions should generate pride and respect from your staff and your clients. A potential client sees you in the grocery store and they say to you, "You always seem to have a great attitude. Where do you work? I like to work at a place like you." "Oh, I work for Med." "Oh, that's a place. I like to get my kids over there." You cannot tell who's watching you and who's paying attention to what you're doing, but you must always act as an ambassador for Med. That's just the way it's got to be. But here's my question for all of you. Do you have the resources you need? Do you have the resources you need to make this all happen? Now, I will be there on December 10th, and I would like to have that discussion, a frank, honest discussion. So this is not homework. This is something you just want to make notes on. A frank, honest discussion on what resources you need in order to follow your roles, what you're responsible for. Do you have them all? Okay, and we're not going to let you just off the hook to say, "Well, I got them all," and then you go away the next day and no, well, we didn't do anything. You're going to make a difference here and with getting the resources you need. And so I'm going to ask you to be aware of that. December 10th, we're discussing that face to face. Okay, do you have the resources you need? What resources do you need? We want to make sure we have a good frame of mind on that one and be able to take from that. Let's talk about this thing about leading by example. Let's talk about that real fast. Okay? You must set the example. So let me ask you, are you on time for work? You want everybody on your team to be on time for work. Are you on time for work? Are you cheerful and happy when you arrive at work? You want people on your team to be cheerful and happy. You want them to be happy for the clients, for each other, for the parents, for the students. You want them to be happy. Are you? Do you listen more than you speak? Do you listen more than you speak? Now, if I'm going to give myself this score, I got to say no. But the rest of you should be checking off yes here. Okay. Do you provide accurate and complete information? Okay. Do you provide accurate and complete information? If you don't have accurate and complete information, you know where to get it so you have it for the next time. And the last example I want to ask you, are you parking your plane at the gate? Do you park your plane at the gate? Experience with a few other fans. That experience here. And I do it for a while. A couple of this, you must make yourself available. Don't hide behind your desk. You must listen and be aware that accessibility is particularly important during tough times. During tough times, you know what they're saying? 70-30. That's what they're saying. Follow that rule, the 70-30 rule. In your actions, demonstrate your selflessness and total commitment to your organization. A 100% commitment, anything less than that, is not you. Anything less than that is not you. If you don't care to give 100% effort, look at it, find out what your vision, what you're passionate about, and you will see that those will become in alignment, and then you can give you 100%. Always project a sense of fairness. But remember, fairness is not treating everybody the same. Fairness is giving everybody what they need. Trust begets trust, ladies and gentlemen. Trust begets trust. Make sure that you trust first, and then that will cause people to trust you. Okay, project authenticity, consistency, and a sense of inner calm to gain the respect of your peers, your subordinates, your superiors, your clients. Do not let anybody take you off your game. Be calm. Arise above pettiness. Okay? Avoid being arrogant. These are people who live the servant role, and this is what they're suggesting that you do. They're giving you the voice of experience here. Okay? Rise above this stuff. Avoid being arrogant. Yet remain true to your values. Remain true to your values. Here's something you might want to be aware of. When you write your personal mission statement and you write your professional mission statement, your values will show. You need to remain true to them. And then the killer one. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Now, I'm personally working on this, and this is why you now going to have, we're working inside of Teams. We're trying to get this set up in a way, slowly bring it on for you to keep it nice and simple so that everything you do is right there inside the Teams. Okay, your homework assignment, it's there inside the Teams. You don't need to go through all this extra work. You can just answer it right there. I can look at it right there. I can give feedback to you right there. We don't have to go through emailing, all those type of things. We'll slowly bring that on. We'll have a webinar to help bring each step of that on. But right now, the other day, every one of you received your link for your notebook. But you already had your link for the team site. So you can go to the team site right now and look at the channel that says learning, and there's your notebook, your notebook. You can answer all your questions, answer all the test questions, read all the information that's necessary right inside of Teams. And by the way, you don't have to have Teams downloaded on your computer. It's web-based as well. Now, here's one other last thing that they want to bring to your attention. They want to let you know that leaders must have the capacity to endure long hours and relentless pressure. You must have the capacity to have stamina. Okay? You must have the ability to handle the pressure of long hours. Otherwise, all your other skills start to fade away. You have to get this done. Required for, okay? Got to have a little bit of stamina. Let's take a look at our final section here. Oh, two sections, sorry. Communication. There's a Roman emperor that one day was on parade or tour, and one of his followers decided that she needed to talk to him, so she's trying to talk to him, and he said, "Listen, I don't have time to listen to you right now." She turned to him and said, "Listen, if you don't have time to listen, you don't have time to lead." When he heard that, he stopped and realized that he had to listen. I'm asking you to stop and realize you have to listen. I'm asking you to stop and realize you have to not only listen to your team, to your clients, to the people you report to, but you have to listen to other ways of gathering information. You got to start looking at things what the local library can bring you, what the government documents bring you, what's on the internet. You know what? You also have to start looking at reading more. Yep, reading more. These are things you have to do so that you can listen and gain some flexibility and things and be a little bit better at what needs to happen. Okay? So these are things that I'm going to ask that you take a look at and ask that you have happen, because this will allow you to become the servant leader that you need to be, okay, that you can be. All right, we'll bring this screen back up here. Just accidentally cut that off. Let's go ahead now. Where are you? Let's look at this last section here. Where are you? Okay. How's your attitude toward change? How you cope with change says a lot. We're good at delegating of authority. Are you still afraid that if you delegate something, it gets wrong, you can get blamed for it? Well, that's true. Are you still afraid, though, of delegating things because you don't want somebody thinking, they're doing your work for you? No, they're doing their own work to develop themselves. Are you afraid to delegate because you might think someone else is going to outshine you because they're doing your job now? How are you delegating? Use of your authority. How are you about that? Good leaders wield their power. Please hear that. Good leaders will wield their power to benefit their organization. They'll use their power to benefit their organizations. Stress management. Serenity under fire inspires confidence. You know what I'm going to say here, right? Breathe. decision-making procedures. Do you have procedures for making decisions? The more the procedures you have, the more you understand the process, the more confidence that you can have. The more you have a procedure, the more you understand how you make decisions and the best way to make decisions, the more confidence you're going to have, the more you script it out. Where are you in your personal and organizational expectations? Where are you when you look at what you want to accomplish personally and professionally? When you look at your organization, this will determine the pace at which you'll grow your organization. This will determine the pace at which you'll grow yourself. I want to conclude with this thought, though, for you. Are you able to park your plane at the gate? Are you able to park your plane at the gate? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapping up for the day here. You have 2 homework assignments. One of them that is in there is just for you to share with your friends and family. But the one about the mission statements, please have that completed and back in to me by the Monday after Thanksgiving. All right? I want to thank you very much for hanging out with us today. We're done. Appreciate